Hello friends! As many of you who regularly tune into the channel know, I have been practicing law in the state of Florida for over 20 years, handling divorce cases, oftentimes going to court on a weekly basis and handling high stakes litigation cases. And that experience has taught me many lessons, one of which I'm going to share with you today, and that is why you should get along with your spouse during a divorce proceeding. Welcome back to the Divorce Broadcast. My name is Manny Segarra, coming to you from Miami, Florida. Alright, during this video we're going to discuss a couple of the reasons why it's so important to try to get along with your spouse. Obviously, you're not going to get along perfectly, otherwise you wouldn't be getting a divorce. But I mean, during the actual divorce proceedings, it is important for you to try to act amicably and get along first, because it reduces a lot of the emotional stress. Divorce proceedings are already challenging and oftentimes emotionally draining. When spouses can maintain a decorum of respect and cooperation, it helps reduce the overall stress involved. This could lead to a healthier, positive environment during these divorce proceedings, maybe even an easier settlement. Plus, when people don't get along during a divorce proceeding, the ones that usually suffer are the kids as well as the parties. So by choosing to be more amicable and friendly, you can prioritize your own best interest and the best interest of your family in moving forward. And I think that's a huge one. Number 2, getting along better is more cost effective. Yes, divorce proceedings can be really expensive, especially when there are big legal battles and complex issues of law. It is very expensive to have attorneys and their staff, as well as a mediator, as well as people investigating the case, as well as going to court and different evidentiary hearings. So when spouses can work together amicably, it cuts down on legal costs. There may be fewer disputes to resolve, maybe the issues of the case can be narrowed, and there are less attorneys' fees. There's less of a need for the attorneys to work on the case, and that is helpful for the bottom line or the overall cost of the case. The third reason is that by maintaining a cooperative approach, oftentimes the spouses can resolve their cases faster or more quickly. A lot of times, all they have to do is meet a couple times, 4 or 5 times, maybe only 2 or 3 times. They can iron out an agreement, a parenting plan, perhaps file the documents in court and get divorced a lot quicker. It can take weeks to a couple months if the parties are amicable and agree, as opposed to a case taking a year or several years if the parties have to go to court. And this is only going to increase because the dockets for divorce cases continues to grow. Number 4, if you are a very private and discreet person, this is going to be a big one for you, and that is that you avoid third parties rummaging through your life, third parties snooping in all of your affairs. What I mean by that is, if the parties don't get along and the case, let's say the case involves children and a guardian ad litem is appointed in your case, yikes! That person is going to look through your social media. That person is going to ask for text messages between the parties, between you and your kids. That person is going to look at your emails. They're going to investigate. They're going to talk to teachers at the children's school. All of your dirty laundry is going to be aired out. In addition to this, sometimes DCF gets involved. So you may have a DCF investigation. All of that can be involved in your life if you don't get along with your spouse. Also, if you have a business, maybe a forensic accountant is going to be appointed in your case. And that forensic accountant is going to comb through your finances tooth and nail. They're going to look at every single expense you have. So if you have any shady expenses, let's say that you have some expenses that you don't necessarily want to blow up in your face, you may seriously consider trying to get along better with your spouse and make an amicable resolution before things go a little bit further and you got these third parties looking through your stuff. Another huge one is that you, as the party, have more control over the outcome of your case. This is huge. When spouses are able to communicate and negotiate in a more respectful manner, they have more control over the decisions in their case. When they don't and they go in front of a judge, remember that the judges have thousands of cases pending. You may have a couple hours to make your best argument, and you never know what's going to happen, and they are constrained by both the statute and the decisional case law. However, if the parties get along better, it is mutually beneficial in that you can be more creative in your settlement agreements. You can do what's best for you and your family moving forward, and a lot of times you can agree to things that the law necessarily wouldn't allow you to agree to. I think a prime example, just to give an example, is a contribution towards your children's college. In Florida, child support ends usually at the age of 18. If you get along better, maybe you talk about college, maybe talk about room and board. Maybe you can create an agreement that is better because you get along better. So the courts are more limited. Parties that get along can be more creative, and I think that is a huge benefit to getting along more and amicably during a divorce case. Finally, I believe the most important aspect of the parties getting along better is that when there's children involved in the case, when parties behave respectfully towards each other during a divorce proceeding, it has a huge impact and consequence when it comes to co-parenting. It sets the stage for years to come. I always tell people, just because you're getting divorced and your children are small, you will have a relationship with your former spouse all the way through graduation of high school, and sometimes even further. So if you're able to get along, it sets the stage for maintaining a positive relationship with your soon-to-be ex-spouse, and has long-term benefits for the children. Now, not everybody can be that way, but it is definitely something that contributes to a beneficial co-parenting and healthier post-divorce relationship between parents, so that moving forward and this new chapter of your family's life, everyone starts off on a great positive footing. That's an end of our video on why you should get along with your soon-to-be ex-spouse better during a divorce proceeding. It's not all going to be rainbows and roses and apple pie or whatever. Obviously, as I mentioned before, we're getting divorced for a reason, but if you can get along better, it's going to be overall better for your kids. So if you know anyone that may find this information useful, have them look us up at www.segarralawfirm.com. We have offices in Miami and Orlando, Florida. Se habla español. Please do us a favor and like this video, subscribe to the Divorce Broadcast, and share this video with your friends. We will see you soon.